Singapore has retained its spot as the 8th most innovative economy in the world. But that hasn't been enough to keep South Korea from surging from behind to make it into the top 5 for the first time and snatch the top spot as Asia's most innovative nation. The Global Innovation Index, which ranks about 130 economies, is published by the World Intellectual Property Organization. It notes that Singapore has been consistently among the world's top 10 most innovative economies for the past 14 years. Singapore still holds the top spot for innovation inputs, including top-ranked performances in 2 new indicators relating to capital raising and financing. It has also moved up 2 spots to 13th position in innovation output. For more, we're joined by Sasha Vincent from the World Intellectual Property Organization. Well, firstly, why does this ranking matter to Singaporeans?
Thank you for giving us the floor at the WIPO. Well, it matters a lot, and it's essentially good news. Now at rank 8, Singapore has really remained in the top 10 League of Innovation Nations for over a decade. That is quite impressive because you compete with the likes of the US, Germany, and many others who really try to break into the top 10. So it takes a great deal of dedication. And I mean, what I want to also say, because you compare the Republic of Korea, Singapore is a special geography with special economic characteristics. It's just different to the Republic of Korea with a much greater land scale and also a much greater scale to do high-tech manufacturing and assembly. So for what Singapore is, a global financial logistics and innovation hub, it means a lot of good news for Singapore.
So, Sasha, how would you assess Singapore's overall performance this year?
Well, it has scored higher than last year in innovation outputs. And this is usually the struggle of Singapore to actually convert all the investments in research and development and education into real tangible innovation outputs, new products, new patents, and also new creative activities. And the data this year shows that Singapore has scored higher this year on all these patents and knowledge outputs as compared to last year, including on very creative economy things such as mobile applications. There were slight dips as well. So for instance, in the relative number of science and engineering graduates, it looks a little bit weaker than last year. Singapore is still also not as diversified as an industry and economy as other bigger nations. It's still a services economy, and that is the challenges in the years to come.
Do we know how much the pandemic affected its ranking compared to other countries?
Well, singling out the effect of the pandemic only, right, is not easy. And in fact, the ranking hasn't changed, as you have noted at the outset. So Singapore has really defended its top rank, despite of all these challenges around it. Broadly speaking, the GII finds that the pandemic has not had a negative impact on innovation at the global scale. But for Singapore, this was a little bit more tricky, right? Because Singapore relies on logistics, trade, air transport, and these have been very hit hard, right? So the fact that Singapore could defend actually shows, some resilience of the Singaporean economy. It's very key now that you accelerate the development of IP and innovation, in fields such as artificial intelligence, biotech, blockchain, and other new trends to avoid staying just a logistics hub.
Well, thank you for speaking with us, Sasha Vincent from the World Intellectual Property Organization.